The world according to a feminist. All those, look at those women, and then there's the guy, the homeless guy, privileged. Oh, okay, all right, that's.
But you have to understand, though, that all of the systems are set up for him.
Yeah, apparently.
They are, and the fact that he
next.
failed is incredible.
Oh my God, that's.
I guess, okay,
If it worked like that.
so
No notes.
Well, hold on. First off, there's affirmative action for women, so.
that's a system that benefits
that's a
women.
Thank God.
What system helps men? It's not clear to me. Here, pull up.
Yeah.
There's more. There's more, Nick.
The Constitution.
White male privilege.
The Constitution.
Whoa. Let's be careful there.
All right.
What in the Constitution benefits white men specifically?
All men are created equal.
Wait,
Does
but
that not include black
What do you guys
men?
think about this? This is
At the time, it did not.
D-Day.
At the time,
D-Day
the
land.
five-fifths thing was.
Is anybody noticing?
Time
That's
it
not.
also-
That's
Men
not
were
in
point-
the
were
Constitution.
3/4 of men, and black men became
Okay,
men.
Anybody
let's-
noticing the
if you want to talk
Time-
about
at
the
time,
intent,
it also didn't
Okay,
include
we'll come
white
back to
men.
it, Nick. We'll
It
come
included some white men. That's it.
so if we
Didn't
talk
include
about
all
the
of them?
intent of the founding fathers, the intent, and you can go to Thomas Jefferson's letters to specific individuals talking about how he wanted to make the language in the Constitution more broad to include literally every single person.
Well, he was an abolitionist.
Yeah, and so exactly, he was an abolitionist. He hated slavery, and he actively tried to release all of his slaves, but was legally not allowed to do so until he died, in which he did. So there is this like pervasive verbiage in usually the left side of the political spectrum that likes to paint the founding fathers as extremely racist and writing the Constitution as something to oppress minorities and oppress the specific gender, so women, which is not the case. You have them with the intent to release those people of those systemic oppressions that they experienced in other countries. So, like in England, I mean, religious oppression, the slave trade, all of those things, they wrote the verbiage in the Constitution so that eventually we would get to a point where we're sitting here today where people would be able to read that verbiage and see all men are created equal. And we can sit here and know
Thank you,
that
Kate.
they meant all men are created equal.
There's some more photos. You didn't even see that second photo. Nick, if you can pull up the photo. Thank you, Kate, for the 10 memberships. White, we often hear male privilege, white privilege. You know what? I think every feminist should watch All Quiet on the Western Front and then decide if there's male privilege. Wait, there's more photos. We got more photos. That was the D-Day landing. That was, I don't know if that's...
I mean,
okay,
to be fair to that one, there was a lot of black men who fought in World War II.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is true. That's, I'm not trying. I just yes, there were. There was the Harlem Hellfighters in World War I, and yeah. Nick, pull up the please. There's this chat here. I'll just read. They have done the studies on the DNA test. Wait, no. Okay, never. Just pull up the photo. I'll read it later. The world, according to a feminist, oppressed, privileged.
Yeah, that's also
Thoughts?
true. There's actually a lot of truth in
The
that.
theme
man.
of these photos is just the.
There's so much.
There's just the complete
What's that?
degradation of nuance. They just lack nuance in its entirety because the whole aspect of like oppression versus privilege. When you speak about privilege, people like to hyper focus on the standard definition of privilege being about like how much money you have, like how much access you have to resources, things like that. Wherein privilege, much like much of the English language, is a word that can have multiple meanings. And in this context, privilege is more about the societal, systematic aspect, which is a generality and not down to the individual. And these are focusing on like the individual stereotypes and archetypes.
Well,
So
I think
rather
calling it
it's
an ecological fallacy.
So everyone started talking at once.
Yeah.
What?
Are you just basically calling it an ecological fallacy?
I don't want to say yes because I'm not sure what that means. Can you clarify?
When you take the individual and then you attribute it to the general populace?
Okay, well then
Yeah.
I would say yes. I'm just not familiar with the term.
Are you talking about apex fallacy?
No, it's the ecological.
Ecological?
You mean logical?
Ecological. It's the
I've not
ecological
heard that
fallacy.
one. Okay.
Where,
Oh,
like-
okay. I can see
yeah,
how the word
it's-
derives.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense to
Oh,
me.
okay.
That sounds right.
Well,
but I
here,
just-
pull up the last photo, and then we got the last one. I think there's one more. We got one more. Scroll up, make it bigger. Yep. So I don't know.
A lot of truth in that one too.
Stop oppressing me.
Sorry.
You know, male privilege.
And even
I
apologizing
don't
for
think
something
so.
he didn't do wrong.
Because class privilege
Yeah.
and oppression is not about race,
Well,
but
no,
they
the
all are
point-
factors within each other.
The point isn't that he's at work. The point is the kind of work he's doing. The kind of work he's doing is not the kind of work that women do pretty much ever, anywhere, at any time, for any reason. That's the privilege. So the privilege is, are you systematically oppressed while your sewers are taken care of for you, while you have air conditioning, while you live in modernity and all modern technology, and every dangerous fucking job on planet Earth is done by men? Is that oppressive?
Having a baby is a pretty dangerous job.
No, it's
respectfully.
not. It's a very safe job.
How are you going to say that?
Because I can look at infant mortality rates and from
Infant mortality.
pregnant women, and the mortality rates of the mothers. A very safe job. Very, very safe for
I just
women to
think
have
respecting
children.
the differences is okay. Like, you're doing that, that's your job, and then we've got our own job. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, you do. You have a job, but you demand to have also egalitarianism inside society
don't.
between the sexes. And the thing is like your job is clearly far less valuable than our job, because without us maintaining the entirety of the infrastructure for which women's pampered asses can even exist inside of society, they would collapse. And how do I know this? Because I have 2,200 years of history to look at to watch the progression of them literally folding like cheap chairs and being passed between enemy armies like it was nothing. They were literally chattel if we decided that they were, and instead we have massive amounts of technological advancements which have allowed for women to even exist in modernity, and instead of being praised for it, men are treated like absolute garbage
Well,
for
I think
doing
you guys
it.
are